This is
No,
Aziza
now.
Jalaluddin, co-founder of Shine, Self-Help International Network Enterprise and co-founder for Enterprises Development Hub. We are here live from Singapore, and we have with us an amazing, amazing teacher who is joining us today, Dame DC Cordova, my dearest mentor and teacher. She is coming live from San Diego. Hello, DC.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, let me just do a short intro and the purpose of today's call. Dame DC Cordova is the CEO of Accelerated Business School USA and the Money and You program. She is also the author of the Money Making System. So today's topic, and we want to make it really, really an educational one for you today, to learn about the money making system. And that's what I love, this work that she has put together, and I'm still at it, getting to understand the money making system in much more depth. So today I'm going to learn even more because of my recent declaration that I want to be, and I am a master in earning, keeping, and growing money. DC, did you hear that? I just declared, and I have been at it, and I'm working on it, and I really, really am blessed and really privileged to have this conversation with you because I'm committed to this work that we are in together. And today we're going to have a lot more conversation on money making system, which I know is the pathway to getting what we want to get in the program. So DC, here's to you. And DC's been traveling around the world, and she's been teaching thousands and hundreds of thousands of people on the money making system, and through the Accelerated Business School programs, she has actually supported creating socially conscious entrepreneurs throughout the world, and they have gone on to make amazing shifts in the world. And I love you, DC, so much for the work that you do, and so much you've contributed to humanity. And so much more. We have joined, been able to, blessed to be the instrument to work with you as well. So DC, welcome, 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 and please tell us more.
Okay, well, thank you so very much. Hello, everyone from San Diego, California. And I just wanted to say that I'm always so glad to be doing these things. And today I really want to focus on money-making systems, because people always ask me, how is it that you became so successful? What is it, the one trait that successful people have? And it is always a combination of not only having very sound business tools, but also being organized and also having the deservability level, so that you will allow yourself to allow more money to come in and not be stuck on what they call a drama hook. And the drama hook is when people make the money and lose the money, make the money and lose the money. This time what we want you to do is we want you to make the money, keep it, and then grow it. And that's what Aziza was talking about a little bit earlier. And just very quickly about me, I am CEO of Accelerated Business Schools and the Money and You program. And I have been doing a program, I have been in the background, a program that I inherited called Money and You, which is part of the original program that was created, which was the Accelerated Business School for Entrepreneurs. And that particular work is about covering sales and marketing, people and organization, money and finances, and something that really adds value to humanity. We like to inspire people to do their work on something that not only brings profits to them, but also adds value to humanity. So that is the gist, excuse me, of our work. And today what we're going to do is we're going to focus specifically on money-making systems. So thank you so much. And Aziza, just so you know, there's some sound in the background, and I'm not sure where it's coming from, but you might have a very strong microphone. And,
okay, I'm supposed to reduce the volume. Yeah.
Well, you might put it on mute when I'm speaking.
Okay.
It's really picking up a lot of sound in the background. And, and also, we just want to make sure, and thank you so much, everyone, for being very patient with us. Technology is a very interesting thing. You know, sometimes we just have to tweak it a little bit, just like real life, just like in real life. You know, in Money and You, in our Money and You program, we talk about that you know, when they send a rocket or a spaceship, something to the moon from Earth, people think that it goes straight there. It's actually only on target 3% of the time. The whole time that particular rocket, that particular, you know, spaceship is going, correcting, it comes off course, and then it corrects, and then it reaches its destination. And it's the same thing in business. So we are constantly correcting, whether we're doing a Google Hangout with you, whether we're setting up a business, and whether we're doing a program, whether we're writing a book. So thank you so much for your patience with us, and we will do our best for you to get the best information today. Go ahead, Aziza.
So, DC, thank you so much once again. I trust that I will put on mute from now on and just sound me off if it's coming on again. So, now that we are together and speaking about the money-making system, let's focus a little bit on that and tell us a little bit more on the intention when you set up the money-making system. Who is it meant for, and why? Why did you do it up?
It actually came out of a need for people to understand how I could handle so many projects at the same time. I'm usually working on between 20 to 30 projects. And one of the things, I don't just get things started, they also have to be completed, and you have to be in the process of executing it. So when I was only 20 years old, one of my first jobs was to be a part-time assistant legal secretary. And I ran into a true master of systems and of office administrative tasks. And because I didn't know any better, I thought that everyone in the world was that organized. I later found out that I had been in the presence of a master. She taught me the most amazing people systems. But there are some key things that you need to know, is that they are the ones who support you, systems support you in being involved in income generating activities and also on creating leverage. So no matter how many of the Google Hangouts that I do and that you will hear, that you will watch, you will see me constantly talking about income generating activities and about leverage. And that's because those two things are key. And a lot of times people don't realize how important they are. And the way to do that is by having some very powerful systems that will support you. And if you're not the organized type, then what you have to do is surround yourself with people that can do that for you. And this is the trick. A lot of times when people are just starting out in business, they are solopreneurs. You know, they are on their own. They don't have the kind of cash, the kind of money that to start hiring people. But there's many ways to have people support you. And one of the ways could be exchange. And you may give them something besides money. Maybe you're going to give them shares in your company. Maybe you're going to do something for them later. But make sure that you stay focused on income generating activities. So if you're worth $50 an hour, or even if you're worth $25 an hour, and somebody does something for you for $10 an hour, you are $15 ahead of the game. Or if you make $1,000 an hour and somebody can do something for you for $50 an hour, then you leverage that. And you got to make sure that you don't get into a total cycle where things are not going to occur in the way that you want them to occur. You will know because you will get very flustered, you will run out of time, you will be exhausted when you go to sleep, you're exhausted when you wake up, and there's a lot of things going in your head. It's really important for you to make a list. Now, you need to understand the personality styles, the DISC. And Aziza, I'm sure, is going to have Carol Dysart, our master in the personality profile, to debrief that for you. So keep an eye on that particular Google Hangout that she will do for you to educate you. But right now, to cover it very quickly, you have the Ds that are the drivers, the Is that are inspirational, influential, that love networking, they love talking, they love everything parties, networking, and going to places where they're going to meet new people. And then there's people, the S's, which is called the steady. I call them the systems people because they love systems. And then there's the C's, which are compliance to their own standards, but also They are the completers. They're the make sure that when a cycle begins, a cycle gets closed, which is a very important business. So money-making systems for people who work with people, when you print out the online 207-page manual, it's probably going to be in a manual like this. It's going to be this big, and it's going to probably look like that, and you're going to put tabs on it. Okay, you're going to put lots of tabs on it for every different chapter so that you can go ahead and be able to be very organized, and you're going to keep that manual with you at all times. Money Making Systems is an online program that I created right now that has 5 different recordings. The first one, it explains the manual, and the other 4 are part of the downloadable 4-session business makeover. The reason I include that is because those are like the overview of a business. And remember, the way you set up systems in your business is you look at the big picture first, and then you get down to the details. So, for instance, I will cover that on the first chapter. You have to be in alignment with people on your deservability level, on make sure that people are in align how much money you're going to have if you're going to become wealthy from this business and add value to humanity. The second chapter is probably one of my favorites, which I learned from that wonderful woman whose name I actually don't remember anymore. And when I was 20 years old, I do remember the attorney's name, and it was Louis Edelberg. And we were working on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And one of the things that she did, she taught me how to create what I call the personal productivity system, which is how to be organized on your desk in your office. And Aziz and I are going to cover that a little bit more a little later. And then the whole manual is just bringing in different systems that you can set in place, and at the same time be able to download the to-dos in your brain into files, into your computer, into an organized manner that others can support you with it, and that will free up your space in your brain, in your head, in your creativity, so that you focus on innovation, on income-generating activities, on networking, on connecting with top clients, and doing on a day what I call the most important income-generating activities and how you're going to leverage in the future. And that's the money-making systems. We can't hear you.
Yes. So it's interesting because I think I would also love to touch on the word that you use, income generating activities, and I've been hearing it for years, and I have been really working on every time when I do something, is that income generating? I keep asking myself. So we would love to touch on that before we go into the organizing part. So what do you classify as income generating?
Income generating is anything that's going to generate income, and so you have to be very clear. Now, that is sometimes what people do is that they play a little game with their head and they go, well, if I do a lot of marketing, it's going to be income generating. That is true. But sales, closing, and bringing in the money is income generating activities. And so, yes, you need to organize your hours. And the first thing you need to do is to take inventory of your time, how you manage time now for 2 weeks. Now, there's no such thing as managing time. I use that sentence so that you can understand it, because really the only thing you can manage in life is activities, is managing activities. You cannot manage time. Time is experiential. We actually created clocks and we created mechanisms in order for us to have agreement with people as to when we're going to meet or things are going to get done. But in the old days, in the ancient days, people used to talk about it more like with the sun, whether it was going to be the sunset, the sunrise, or the sun clips, the sunset, or it was going to be at high noon. So, in the old days, people were much more present because they didn't have any clocks that kind of told them what to do. So people got lost in time. And that is very dangerous. What you want to do is you want to understand income generating activities on what it is that you need to do in order for you to bring in more income into your life, into your business, and others that are going to be creating income for you. What we like to say is that you're going to have little feet out there, little people out there, leverage out there, bringing money in for you in addition to what we are doing. So when you are setting up systems, for instance, that are going to leverage you, or you're having meeting with people that are going to leverage you and bring more income for you, that is an income generating activity. Now, sometimes people get a little bit like funny about the word money. And if you do get funny about that, later we are going to have a program called Money and Me. And keep your eyes open for Money and Me. That's about a 3-session online program that we do in order for us to help you clear instant cash flow. It is different than Money and You. Money and You is the big picture, is the overview, is 44 hours of entrepreneurial education, which includes having clear rules of the game, understanding leverage, and having the ability for you to be able to really bring in the business success model into your business, which includes learning from mentors, having a niche, leveraging that niche through an aligned team that then creates synergy, and ultimately it creates results. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and know that when you are setting up your day, is that what activities are you going to do in order for you to create money coming in? And if you have trouble with that, then you want to go ahead and do some clearing on the word money. That's what Money and Me is about. What is it that you may be charged up about money? What is it that, because it's going to be very difficult for you to have a profitable business if you have a hard time with the word money, you know? And so one of the things that you want to do is notice the resistance, don't go into it, don't buy into it, don't procrastinate, but just get ready to go to work so that you create systems in place, and at the same time, you're bringing in cash and doing at least 5 things a day that will bring future money. It may not bring money immediately, but it will bring money 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. And after a while, these systems will become natural to you. You will automatically do it. You won't have to be checking on yourself. So this is why I want you to check for the next 2 weeks. I want you to start from the minute you wake up. What is it that you do? You know, do you lie in bed for half an hour and just be thinking there? Which is fine. Some people need to do that. Then literally you're going to write down how long it took you for you to handle your body, all of your bio needs in the morning. How long did it take you to brush your teeth and everything else? You're going to literally write it down. And then you're going to write down how long you had breakfast for. And then maybe how long you took care of your children, if you have that, or how long it took you for you to have a conversation with your wife or your husband in order for you to plan the day or plan the week or whatever. Then what time did you really start working? When you worked, how many minutes did you spend on phone calls? How many phone calls did you make? How long did each phone call take? And then how long did you take for lunch? How long did you take to your BFF, your best friend? How long did you, I know I'm going to be a little rude, how long did you go to the bathroom for? You know, because sometimes that can take a while because you kind of are procrastinating a little bit. How long did it take you for you to drive to go pick up your children or to go to the laundromat? How long did it take you for you to go and deliver your laundry? And then maybe you got tired that day and didn't want to work anymore. You went to the movies. How long were you at the movies? You're going to do that every single day for 2 weeks, including the weekends. You must be realistic. Don't look back at it until 2 weeks, because the mind is going to start immediately looking and going, I'm spending a little bit too much time doing this and that. I don't want you to do that. I want you to do it exactly for 2 weeks and then look at the patterns and then take a look at really, really tell yourself the truth on how much time are you really spending on income generating activities. And my friend, you might be shocked. And so we really want you to do that, and then you begin to adjust your time. And at first it's going to be like a discipline for you to say, okay, from 9 to 12, I'm going to work on income generating activities, and I'm going to have a little lunch, and then I am going to work on leverage. And leverage is systems that you may want to put in place, interviews that you may want to have with people that may start working with you, with salespeople, your sales systems, and all of that. So you have to be careful that the brain goes, well, that's an income generating activity, and it's true. Setting up sales systems is an income generating activity, but that's going to be later. Income generating activities are things that are going to bring you money now. Money now that you need. My friend, I love Bernie Dorman. He taught me that. Now, money now. That is going to bring you money now. It's going to bring you money in 2 weeks or a month so that you can go ahead, get out of survival if necessary. And I'm not talking to people that have little money only here. I'm talking to some of you who make $1 million a year, but you spend $1.3 million a year. So you're still at survival because you are minus $300,000 and you're constantly scrambling. The experience of scarcity and survival happens to people in all ranges of income, not just for people that have very little money. So that's what I mean by income generating activities. I know that it was a long answer, but it's a very important question.
Absolutely, DC. Actually, it is something that a lot of people cannot recognize with, and I love it that you mentioned it. The income, you know, be it no money, like literally, or millions of dollars, and they are still below that line of scrambling for money. So I would love to see, I just noticed my name's, okay, never mind. So right now, as we speak about the money-making system that we have, you have created, please tell us a little bit more on the details that you mentioned and the 3 areas that you cover in the book, and how it reflects directly in the way we run our business and how it can add value to us.
Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to think of your business as an organism and as something that is constantly growing and kind of creating itself. A very good leader puts a systems in place so that the systems run you. Once you have done that 2-week, inventory of how you manage your activities, what's going to happen is that we are very brilliant. You need to understand that you're very, very brilliant, you're very smart, and your brain is going to automatically begin to correct. Then you need to have some tools. When you go to chapter 2 of Money Making Systems, you will see the productivity system. And what I want to do is I wanted to share with you some of the tools, some of the things that I will talk about in that list. One of the things I talk about is a thing called a file folder. And these are the American file folders. This is what they look like. And I like the ones that have 3 tabs, okay? It's very important for you to have 3 tabs. This tab, that tab, and then the tab on the right. You see that? You see it? Okay, good. So these are the file folders. And these are going to be, this is what they look like. And these are going to be the things that you're going to use to clear up your desk. And it's very important. The physical universe, if you have a very messy house, a very messy office, it affects you. Even though you might be really proud that you're a little bit, messy and all that, you don't understand. It actually affects your subconscious. And I don't want to go into all the studies that they have done about that. I'm sure that now with the internet you can research it and you can find out that that is definitely a fact. And then what you're going to do, and just I want to show you this so that you have an idea. And this is what is called a banker's box in English in America, in the United States. And it's also, this is what it looks like. And then also in Australia, I think, and in Asia, they call archive boxes. And they have different sizes. Now, they have it so that you put writing right here. I don't put writing on the boxes. And by the way, they look like this. They have a little lid. You can prepare them. What I do is I always use Post-its. And there are some labeling like this. These are not Post-its. These are actually full-on 100%, you know, sticky, so that you put that on, you label that, and I label my boxes on the lid. Let me see if I can show you on the lid. It's a little bit crooked, and I also label them on the side. So that is what we call an archive box. And of course, Post-its are your best friends when you're getting organized, but not to write notes on when you are working. That, oh my God. If you start writing them on little pieces of paper, it is very dangerous. What you need to do is you need to get a tablet and you need to get organized so that you, whatever manner you like, whether you like a paper tablet or you have an iPad or you have a computer system of some way on you getting productive and getting organized, it's really important for you to find the way that you like to do it. And what you want to do is you want to organize your desk where you have what they call an in tray and an out tray. And then you also have what we like to call a time machine, which is made out of these folders. It's made out of these folders. And you're going to have a time machine inside the banker's box that I show you. And that time machine is going to have all 12 months of the year. And it's going to have at least 2 months. So you're going to write the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, all the way to 31. And you can do it for 3 months. So you're going to have a total of 90 of these, because you're going to have one of these file folders for each day. And that is called the time machine. You're also going to use these folders that they're going to drive you when you're going to have like 8 priorities, what needs to be done today, and what can wait, and then we also have different tags that you will see in the money-making systems. What's going to happen for you is that you're going to set up a system that's going to drive you on a daily basis, as opposed to you having to figure it out every day. And for some of you, it may take a whole weekend. Some of you may take 3 or 4 days to clean out your desk. And what you're going to do is you're going to use the banker's box that I show you. You're going to use that for storage. Storage is anything that you need to save when you are organizing, anything that you really need to save. And do you need to save it for tax purposes? Because like in the United States, I believe we have to keep records for something like 5 years. I actually don't know. You know why? Because in my garage, I have boxes from 1978. I still have my manual from my business school, and I have paperwork and receipts that go back all the way to the early, I believe, when I moved to Hawaii, I changed things, but I believe that I have records that go all the way back to 1990, something like that. I happen to save records for many reasons, and that makes me feel good. And it's also just, I was in the legal system. It's a long story of why I keep records. It's because I want to. Let's just put it that way. And so, but you have to find out how long you have to keep records in your country. I believe in the U.S. it's either 5 or 7 years, something like that. After that, the Internal Revenue Service, our taxation department, did not demand of you.
In Singapore, it's also 5 years.
Is it 5 years? Okay.
Yeah.
So they can't demand for you to go past 5 years because you can throw all that away, and a lot of people do. So, and I don't have all my records, but I keep some very important records. So one of the things that you need to know, pass before 7 years, I believe. So one of the things that you need to know is that you're going to put things in storage, but then you're going to recycle a lot of stuff. You're going to get a big black, in America we have black bags that are really thick for big trash, and you're going to put all your paperwork in there. You're going to shred important information, and then you're going to go ahead and recycle that shredding, and also paperwork that if anybody finds it, it doesn't matter anyway, brochures and things. And then you're going to discard that, you're going to recycle, and what you're going to keep in your office is going to be just your daily files and all the files that you need for you to do business with. Like for instance, in my daily files right now, I have files on India because we're going to go and do a Money in You program there. We're expanding. I have files in there for my renewable energy business. I have files there for the expansion of Money in You throughout the world. Our next project, the Business School for Entrepreneurs, Business School. And then, of course, all the different things that I work on. But I do have a file which is called Today. I have that both in my computer and I have that on literally on my, I put it in front of all my paperwork, which immediately in the morning I can grab and I know that needs to be done today. And so that is driving me. I constantly am cleaning out paperwork. I'm constantly sorting out my own mail. In the old days, I used to have somebody come and pick up the mail. My accountant manager, my accounts manager, lives in another state, so she gets mail at least once a week, a whole pack. I open up the mail that's really, really important. Important is from the government. In America, you open up whatever you can, the Internal Revenue Service, and of course, you know, the franchise tax department that we call in the state of California. And when I'm not here, there are people that handle that for me that send that out to my accounts manager, Tamika, in another state. Then I have other people that support me when I am not home, even though my beloved can be here, my friends can be staying here, somebody always stays here. But my paperwork gets handled by someone that knows what to look for. And so you constantly need to be opening up your mail. I find that people sometimes leave their mail for months. That is extremely dangerous. I would not do that. So what I do with my daily organizing, I also stay focused. And the system is driving for me to stay focused on income generating activities, and then also on activities that save me money. That's the other side of the coin of income generating activities, like for instance dealing with the taxation department. If you're late, they're going to charge you. Every government on the planet has interest payments. So you have to make a choice. If you can pay it now, you can pay it later. So it is the little details. I like to have, I've heard this saying somewhere, I didn't make it up. God and the devil lives in the details. So that is what organizing looks like on a daily basis. And now, of course, we have iPhones. My iPhones, I have put 2 alarms on things. I mean, nowadays, the tools that we have, and of course, there are many apps, and the people, when I do events like this, they say, oh, did you look at this app? Did you look at that app? And then I have a tendency to not go with some of the apps because it's somebody else's way of organizing, which is fantastic. So I have created my own systems, and that's what I share with you on Money Making Systems. And as you develop your own, I would love to hear it and share that with your team, but make sure that you always leverage. My files are labeled and in a way that, God forbid, should anything happen to me tomorrow, both in my computer and in my paperwork, somebody could easily figure out my life because everything is labeled. And that's really key. So that's to give you the overview of being organized.
Wow, that is one part of it that's so amazing. And now we're coming to the part of being organized, and then you also cover in your money-making system the part about money and finance. Maybe we can touch on that before we move on to talk about people. And, you know.
So there's a big difference between money and finances. Finances, money is when you do the clearing that you need to do, and in order for you to have the kind of money and cash flow that you want. Cash flow is king. You need to understand that it's really important for you to be having money coming in order for you to be able to build your business. So even if you have debt and you have had some learning experiences you have to split your money in half. Half to pay off the debts that you have, and the other half to be income generating money, capital for your business. Now, you also need to do programs like Money in Me, Money in You, in order to begin to clear that maze that you may have of confusion in what it takes to really make money. And then, and clear your deservability levels, your different blocks. And then finances are the steps. They are the logistics. They are how money is handled and managed. At this point is when you need to have an excellent bookkeeper, an accounts manager that works with you, and a very good accountant. And in many ways, if you have a business big enough, then you need to have very good attorneys that work with you for the protection of your trademark, your copyright. Like right now, everything is copyright in my business. The big production manuals just recently, finally, after many years, got copyrighted. It takes a long time to do these things. You have to work with a very good attorney. Of course, Money in You, the name has been trademarked for many, many years. And so, and you have to be able to keep track of when that that you need to review that, renew that, and you keep that, you write it down. You know, a lot of people let their domain names expire, you know, and all these important things, and not pay certain key things. So if you can keep track of it, find somebody that will keep track of that for you, which is what I do. So that's the part of finances. Finances also has to do on how you're going to finance, capitalize, and work with expanding your business and being able to be a financial master in many ways. So are you in the process of making money? That's when you have income generating activities. In the process of managing to keep the money that you made, that now we're beginning to move into systems, financial systems, and leverage. And then, of course, growing the money that you manage to keep is leverage. And it's understanding the tax laws, understanding how to work in the world of finances with the money that you have. So that's the difference between money and finances. So also money could be the cash flow. It could be the money that you're having coming in, but you need to put the systems, which is the finance part.
That is probably one of the in-depth explanation we have ever got online. Thank you so much for that one. And so moving forward on the other part of the money-making system that you cover is about people. And I know you have covered the organization. And can you tell a little bit more about people? I mean, we talk about system as being the 94% and 6% is people. So why do we need to focus on people?
Okay, so what you just mentioned is one of the teachings of one of the masters that has influenced Money in You, and that's the teachings of Edward Deming. Edward Deming said that whenever there's a mistake, take a look at where the mistake was made. Usually it is 94% is the system that was set up. So he always encourages us to set up systems that will prevent as few mistakes as possible. Then, I mean, it will prevent you in making mistakes so that you make as few mistakes as possible. 6% is people. So when you look at the business that you have and the projects that you have, take a look at whether it was a systems mistake or a people mistake. If you have a lot of people mistake, that means that you don't have systems in order to contextualize, to have what we call a fruit bowl for the people in the organization to follow, and that they have been given clear instructions. That is what the system does. 6% is when people are either tired, they're emotional, they didn't pay attention, they're not present, they are, spaced out, they're not good at their jobs, the wrong personality is in place. You might have a driver doing a lot of detailed work that they hate, or you may have somebody that loves detailed work, that you're having them go to networking meetings and to be a driver, and they hate that. So those are the things that I cover. You know, Carol Dicer and I wrote Money Making System. She really supported me with that. She's the master in DISC. And one of the things that the reason I got her to work with me is because I needed somebody like her. She's a high I, and she's got a lot of detail about her. She has a lot of C about her too. But I needed a fresh set of eyes to see, to make sure that the systems that I was teaching were going to be for people, because she's really good with people. I'm very good with people too, but sometimes I get a little bit impatient, and I notice that there are certain people that have a lot more patience with people than I do at moments, so it's best for them to handle certain people. So what I do is I take a look at people as being, you know, the most, well, I shouldn't say this. Let me just backtrack a minute. My experience is that us people, remember, I'm a person, we are the most difficult thing in an organization. There's two things that are really tough. Marketing is like rocket science, and then dealing with people. So the more that you create systems, like make sure that people know the purpose of the business. Our purpose is to uplift humanity's consciousness through socially responsible business. Our mission, one of our mission, is to transform educational systems around the world and eradicate poverty and hunger. And another mission that I have is the greening of the world, because I am now partners with Wang Ming, one of the world's leading renewable energy entrepreneur on the planet. And then we have clear rules of the game. How are we going to participate together? And then we have clear goals. We are very clear what product or service we're selling and how that is going to add value to humanity and what is going to be the exchange of that. So for instance, when you and I decided to work together, me and Ramesh, your partner, husband, and your team around, you know, the region, remember how much we talked? Remember how aligned we got? As he said, and we went over the rules of the game. We had a memorandum of understanding. We had, okay, this is how we're going to participate. This is what you're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. This is what you're going to pay, when you're going to pay for it. And so now we have clear rules of the game on how we're going to participate together. All those systems in place. And then you have to have statistics for them or for your team. How many sales were made? How much money was brought in? How many expenses do you have? Now you get into the financial systems. But when people are very clear and you find, like a rule of the game that we have with each other is to find the person innocent until proven guilty, it begins, that is the grease of organization. It's like if you don't know anything about engines, you need to know that when you put oil in your car, that is the grease of the engine. It makes sure that all those parts move right. If you don't put oil in your car and it goes down to zero, your car, your engine will blow up. It will stop. You will have to pay $7,000, $8,000 for a new engine. That's if you have a nice, simple car. If you have a car like mine, it's more like $20,000. So that's what you need to understand, is that systems are the grease of organization, and they're the ones who make smooth working with people.
Okay, wow, that is really, really good. So right now, as we move on with the next part of it, which is about sales and marketing that you cover in the money-making system, tell us more on that, because I think many people set on to doing business always start off with sales and marketing, and I'm sure that's like the bloodline many people say of business is. So tell us more about that, DC.
Okay, so in money-making systems, I actually don't go into sales systems because, for instance, in our network, we have people like Eric Lofholm, ericlofholm.com. You know, and if you go to my Facebook, DC Cordova, you will see Eric easy to find him as one of my friends. And so you can connect with Eric. He has fantastic sales systems. But what I do in money-making systems, and the same thing with marketing. Now, marketing, we teach marketing in our business school for entrepreneurs. And we have many marketing, geniuses that work with us. And one of the things that I have learned is that marketing, you need to understand the overall what marketing is, and then find what is the best marketing for you, and then go work with a master in that area. And you may need, for instance, Dwayne Jaworski is my web expert, but he really understands marketing a lot. So he's like the orchestrator in my business, where I can bring in different marketing experts, and what they do is I run it by Dwayne, I introduce him to Dwayne, and Dwayne will figure out what's the best way to use it. In our business school, we also have Dr. Serge Gravel that teaches the overall of marketing so that people can have an understanding what is really marketing. Because a lot of people don't understand what that is. And so in sales, you want to have scripts. You want to have your unique selling proposition, which is good for both sales and marketing. You want to know what your niche is, which you must have for both sales and marketing. And what you want to do is you also want to have the systems in place that is chapter 2 of money-making systems, where you have to have your office organized in order for you to look up in here and have a file folder on your best client. Now, you may have one of these, or you may have a file in your computer that will have a lot of information about your best client, your best customer. And so systems are running sales and marketing, and it allows you to also keep track of research that you have to do. That's key in marketing. You have to research the things that are happening in your industry. What is it that people are doing? What is it that people need to do? What is it that you need to do in order for you to succeed? So that is what we find in sales and marketing. It's like you could say that my whole manual on money-making systems is to support sales and marketing. So I don't go into this is how you sell, because the masters can teach you that, but this is what you need to do in order to support sales happening constantly and income generating activities coming in.
That is really fantastic. So, DC, I think it's about an hour now since we started, and it's been amazing having this conversation. And I would love to hear from you. Let's say if we're talking about the money-making system and being implemented. This question about, so now we've shared something, and if is it just for the, what do you call, a one-man show that this sales system applies, or is it for any organization? So I think this is one question many people around, because they'll be like, oh, I have such a big organization, so how will money-making system support me? So what do you have to say about that?
Okay, the first thing I want to say is for people that think that they have a really large organization and they know they have a big, large organization, is how well does it function? This is what I find sometimes, and please forgive me, I'm not just picking on Malaysia and Singapore, but as you know, I had a business in Singapore for several years, and I really learned a lot there. And one of the things that a lot of times people, particularly in that part of the world, Singapore, Malaysia, and in Asia, that people love to get into all kinds of different businesses, particularly the men. And they love to talk about, oh, I started this business with so-and-so, oh, and I'm doing this project, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And so they love to talk about the 8 or 10 different businesses that they're in. And when I hear that, I cringe, because I know that unless they are as organized as somebody as Jenny Chan, who brought the hourglass, created the hourglass in Singapore, one of the most successful entrepreneurs of Singapore, who had 3 full-time, at the height of her career, she had 3 full-time assistants that she gave directions to every 5 minutes. I'll never forget that. I will never forget that. She had this phone that was constantly being picked up and telling people, do this, do this, do this. She was the only person that I knew that could so effectively handle 10, 20, 30 businesses. Everyone else, this is what it looks like. Imagine somebody driving a speedboat in a very calm lake. In front of them, there is like calm, it's really, really nice. And in front of them, they're like driving the speedboat, and behind them, there's this huge wake. And that is what happens in business. And a lot of entrepreneurs are not willing to look at how disorganized, how messy, and how they are not truly organized. It's the same thing that we teach in our business school. You know, Randolph Craft teaches about planning. People go, oh, yes, I know how to plan. Well, yes and no. Unless you have a PERT chart, a program evaluation review technique, and I talk about that in Money Making Systems. And you really need to be very, very honest with yourself and make it safe for your team. You need to do research in your organization, and you need to make it what they call a monkey survey, which can be anonymous, and you can do it online for your team to tell you how much chaos there really may be in your organization. And sometimes people don't find out how disorganized they were until they start running out of money, and their team cannot be involved in income generating activities because they're constantly putting out fires. And in Money and You, the reason I love people to come and do Money and You is because for 3.5 days they have an opportunity for them to really see some of the blocks, some of the mistakes, and be honest with themselves. Now, they don't have to tell anyone else. They can just tell themselves what is really happening. And they learn about the business success model. They learn about, you know, rules of the game. They learn all these different things that they can go ahead and have in place that can really allow them to be honest with their team and themselves on how well they're really doing or not doing. And this is really, really important. So, yes, you can have a huge organization, but how organized, how income producing, how much income generating. And sometimes people are making a lot of money and they could be making a lot more. So not having efficient systems leaves a lot of money on the table.
That is a very fantastic explanation on that. So, DC, tell us more about our journey in India and the Business Mission India. We're so excited to have the Accelerated Business School come and share and be the organizer for the most part of the Business Mission India, where we're bringing together socially conscious entrepreneurs around the world, including our graduates, coming to India. And tell us more about the journey that we'll be in together in India, please.
Thank you. All of a sudden, I got cold. It's getting very cold in California. My apologies. I'm warming myself up. I live right next to the ocean, and I have all my windows open, and I got a little cold. One of the things that I'm so excited, number one, I happen to love India. I've been in India 4 times, and it's the only place that when I leave it, I cry. It's a very powerful connection that I have, and I love the people in India, and I love the diversity, and I am so excited that high tech came in and that allowed for that country to really advance themselves, and I am excited about us being part of eradicating poverty and hunger in India, which is what the work will support do. They're doing really good work, and we will be just another dimension. We will just be able to help more and maybe have a little bit of an effect that in supporting entrepreneurs the way we have supported entrepreneurs in China, because in China they have been able to move 700 million plus people out of poverty because of the government structure in allowing and forcing businesses to contribute to the betterment of people's financial well-being. As we know, in China, people can't just be rich. They have to share their wealth, and they have to use their wealth in order to uplift everybody's conditions around them as they earn more and more money. So I'm hoping that we will support in those 5 days. We're going to come in, and the first day we're going to be working and looking at all the different possibilities and working with people in India. And then we're going to start Money and You at 6 p.m. on the Thursday. We're going to do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then on Monday, we're going to have a connecting day. We're going to be really supporting people in connecting with each other, in sharing ideas, in being able to support each other, and having some dignitaries that will be coming in to support the day. And so it's the business mission in India. Look, if we never went to India, India is going to thrive and survive and make it better. There's no question about it. And us coming into India is going to bring in some added distinctions. We're going to be bringing in a great network that they can tap into. We're going to be bringing other masters to work with the masters in India in order to support, putting more systems in place that will be the grease of the organization of the whole country, because it is entrepreneurs, it is business people that really help countries to make it big and to survive and to thrive and to cooperate, be collaborators with not only other countries in the Asia-Pacific region, but also throughout the world, and connect them with the United States and Mexico and Canada and Croatia and Chile and Brazil. You know, I'm part of the Unstoppables group in Australia, and one of the things we're talking about, sending people there to India. And, you know, I said, please go, you know, for those of you that want to expand your work. I also send people, there's a little group getting ready to go to Malaysia to the upcoming Money and You in April. But now what we want to do is we want to connect India to all the countries and all the amazing, amazing billionaires and people with heart that are out of our Chinese world, that our Chinese network in Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Brunei, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and all throughout China. The Indian entrepreneurs that come to this 5-day mission, business mission, will have access to all of those people. And that is our new definition of wealth. Wealth is having access to networks, to resources, to cash, to be able to have money, that capitalization, investors for you, to have the people that can bring their wisdom, their mentorship, their energy, their love, their support when you are in the middle of the biggest learning experience, or even when you're having loss of maybe a beloved or loss of your business. When your spirit is down and out, the Money and You network will really come around you and support you and say, look, we all gone through it. Let's bring you up. Let's hold you. Let's help you heal your heart. The Money and You network has been doing this for now 36 years. And we know that the business mission that we're coming on to India with open arms and open heart, especially with me. I am the leader of Money and You, the business school, that loves India so much, loves Indian people. I totally get that we have people, you know, sometimes people say, well, I heard this, I heard that. Look, there are human beings all over the planet that do some crazy stuff in every country in the world, including my homeland of Chile. But I have to tell you that Money and You attracts and brings and kind of like sift out some of the people that may not belong in our network, and then we have some pretty beautiful, pure human beings that really want to collaborate with each other. And that's what we're doing in India in mid-June. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay, that is so awesome, DC. I think you have like kind of encapsulated the whole thing in such a heartful way, and I know for a fact that, you know, right now as we speak about it, there is such a surge in energy, you know, like we've been at it for the last 5 years, really nurturing our networks and growing our teams there. And right now, as we speak about it, we know that India and Indian government is roaring to really bring in expertise, bringing special people into the country so that they can grow and nurture a whole new system. In fact, they have all the leaders right now traveling to Singapore to really get in touch with the systems that we have in Singapore that can support the way the country can be done. So the importance, however, with the recent passing of our dear Lee Kuan Yew, founding father, has created so much of impact, and so much of information is coming out right now about the leadership and the way it's done. And at this moment, I really want to thank him once again with all our heart for the kind of contribution he has done for the nation and the responsibility he has taken to move the country and show an example of what human potential can do when we take on responsibility for ourselves and the world. And for this man, he's been a complete demonstration of just that and much, much more of what a man can do, right? So right now, as we speak about it and the roaring of all this work going to India with our Accelerated Business School and the business mission encapsulating everything, we would love to see, like, in your point of view, I would love to have this conversation before we round up, because I really want this message out, that what do you see in particular happening with more entrepreneurs getting understanding of socially conscious and social responsibility with systems, with all of this that we offer in Business Mission and the Accelerated Business School? What do you see possible for India and Indian people working with us?
You know, India has a tremendous responsibility because of the sheer numbers of people. You know, when you have over 1 billion population, you have 1,500, you know, political parties, and you have the kind of history. India and China have such amazing ancient, you know, histories. One of the things that there is no choice but to have social entrepreneurs, because the very definition of a social entrepreneur is someone who is going to not only have profitable businesses for themselves, but also profitable businesses that will add value to humanity. Now, it could be that somebody is a printer, you know, somebody is a doctor, a dentist. They can be in any career, in any niche. And maybe it doesn't, quote unquote, look like they're doing something for the world, but if they treat their people better, if they have clear rules of the game and all the things that we spoke about a little bit earlier about having team alignment, and as you have people who are aligned in a company, but also maybe take a percentage and say, as a company, let's go ahead and let's adopt a family, let's adopt a cause, let's adopt an organization. Let's give money to that little family down the road that clearly they don't have enough. How about if we give them a job? Let's give a job to the mother, to the father. Let's have the children. Let's get clothes for the children. Let's clothe them. Let's have that family be our donation for this little company that we have. Because you could have a little business that maybe doesn't have a lot of money, but they have resources, and you have clothes and they don't. You have food and they don't. You have electricity and they don't. So it could be as simple as that, all the way to a city adopting and connecting with somebody like a Tony Hugh, who has created a whole new paradigm in downtown Las Vegas, where they even have insurance policies that cost 1/10 of what it could cost them. And they have community centers that they could learn about. We just happen to be familiar with that particular mega social entrepreneur. And then other people will connect with our social entrepreneur, Wang Ming, who happens to be the leading entrepreneur. So we can take it all the way from government that will connect with somebody that has a solo valley, a solo city, all the way to an entrepreneur that maybe has 10 employees, 50 employees, or 100 employees, that now wants to learn new systems that we can introduce them to people that will put those systems in place that would allow for their company to become more socially responsible. So every single person in the Money and You program will be encouraged, and they will learn tools, and their hearts will be opened so that they care more about their community, about society, about humanity, and about the world. India is key. It's not even a choice. If they want to prosper and thrive and eradicate poverty and hunger, social entrepreneurship is key. And that's why we're so excited to be part of a campaign that there are many people in that country already. I know of so many wonderful people already doing that. And hopefully we'll be able to support and be catalysts to support that country and go into a whole other level and another dimension of that beautiful work that they have already started. So with or without us, India is going to do fantastic, but with us, we'll be able to accelerate them.
Yes, absolutely. Accelerate is the word, and it's EXCELLERATED, accelerate, and I just love that. And what we will do, DC, thank you so much. And this, I think, is very crucial, as you mentioned, because yes, that's a lot of organization, at least the big guys are really doing a lot of stuff right now in India with all the Tatas and with all the big names that you know. They have been doing so successfully and been doing out some awesome contributions to the community. But I love it that you mentioned about that man with that 1 employee, 10 employees. How does he contribute? You know, when he's thinking only about survival, how we get him into a mindset of wealth, true wealth and prosperity, and he can add value to that person down the street. And if every citizen can come to understand the logic and the importance of prosperity at that level, I can only see a beautiful collaborations and awesome outspring of beautiful miracles happening in India, where it's just about sharing and love. And we see that happening in our Chinese network through the Accelerated Business School, all our socially conscious entrepreneurs in the Chinese world that you have created. And we can see that, you know, doubling and tripling and probably, you know, growing in so much more dimensions with this work that we're bringing in. Once again, thank you so much, DC, for being on this call with us. And anything else before we say thank you? And
I just want to say aloha nui loa. That means with all my love in Hawaiian. And I am deeply moved by all of you, Aziza, and your team for what you do in making this a better world. You have worked very, very hard, and we have all made mistakes. We have all grown up together. We are all just moving at what my friend, who's no longer with us, used to say, at the speed of grace. And the more that we love humanity, the more that we forgive ourselves, the more that we align what the Ho'oponopono teachings of the Hawaiian people say, we align the inner family, the more that our outer family. There is no reason why we still have 17,000 children that die of starvation, hunger, dirty water, no refrigeration for medicines every single day. So in our lifetime, we will see the eradication of that. And the business people, and no matter how little you are, or whether you're an employee of an organization, every single human being can make a difference to someone's life. So thank you. If I never see you again, if you never see me again, if you never hear from us again, I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for every day choosing to do something that will add value to humanity or to a human being. And it is that action in every single human on the planet that will accelerate the process of a betterment of humanity. Thank you for everything you do. Aloha nui loa.
Thank you so much, DC. So, dear friends, this is the time. The time has come. And we are really, really excited that we are going to be in India with the Business Mission India happening from June 11 to 15, 2015. So we will be there in Chennai at a loft or OMR Hotel in Chennai. And this is a 5-day event. So as we have spoken so much about it, do join us. And we know that it's going to be an awesome time together because it's going to be a full 5 days of aligning, connecting, and empowering, leading to global prosperity through and from India. So it's going to be a miraculous time that is going to happen first of its kind in the world, to be happening from India, with entrepreneurs and investors coming in from China, Indonesia, USA, Singapore, Malaysia, and we're very grateful for the Singapore Malay Chambers to be one of our supporting bodies for this event. And thank you so much once again for joining us. Please log into collaborateindia.org/Business Mission 2015 for the program schedule. You can get in touch with us on Facebook on Business Mission India, where we have an events page and a lot more links, because it's going to be an ocean of experience. You know, every time we speak about this, it sounds like a very upset, like, what is it that you're going to be doing? But you have to be there to experience it, because it's going to be that life-changing moment, not just for yourself, but for India, and a global movement that we are creating from India with these amazing, amazing mentors and masters who have guided us and been with us and adding value to humanity over the last years. So once again, thank you so much for joining us from Singapore. This is Aziza Jalaluddin, Shine, Self-Help International Network Enterprise. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful, blessed life.